Good morning. Welcome back to Form 7 Maths online classes from the Rajkumar College, Rajkot. Right, we were doing on lines and angles yesterday. We had just started with it. Okay. Let's go on to angles very quickly. We said an angle is the space between two lines or the distance between two lines which are meeting at a point. At the point you get an angle. Now, you have learnt about angles previously. You have learnt about different types of angles. Now, let me just go through the types of angles first. Okay. We come with angles which are acute angles, obtuse angles, right angles, straight angle, reflex angle, complete angle, and before the acute angle comes a zero angle. These are the types of angles. Okay. Acute angles, obtuse angles, right angles, straight angles, reflex angles, complete angles, or zero angles. Now remember that angle is, in other words, if I take it, angle is the distance between the two arms at a particular point, at a fixed point. Now let us take the hands of a clock. The hands of a clock, we have two hands of a clock. This is the minute hand, and we have a smaller hand which is known as the hour hand. Now I've just made it in this way when I'll go into details about it. The hour hand and the minute hand are continuously moving around a fixed point. Okay. It's another thing that a hour hand also moves, but let's take the hour hand to be fixed at one point. If the hour hand is fixed at for 1 hour, at least slight movement only will take, we will take it as one arm that is fixed at one point, at one direction. And the other arm, which is also joined at this point only, I have, let's say the point is O, and I have arm AO. OA is one arm, and the other arm is OB. Okay. At this position, both the arms OA and OB, which is meeting at one point, is one on top of the other. It's like this. When it is one on top of the other, there is no gap. There's no gap in between them. No gap between OA and no gap between OB. Right? If there is no gap between the two arms, then there is no angle formed, because what did we say angle was? The distance between the two arms is the angle. Now, since there is no gap between them, there is no distance at all between the two, then we say this type of an angle is a zero angle. Okay. Now I will take my arm OB, this arm OB, I'll take this arm, okay, OB. This arm OB is my moving arm. Now, the arm of this OB moves, and then it comes to a certain position here. Right? It is moving in this direction. Now from here, the arm again moves. It'll come again, it moves on its journey of movement. You will find that this arm OB is standing straight. It is straight, standing straight on OA, at point O. if you are standing straight, we say this is the right way of standing. Do we stand this way at an angle forming, or do we stand at the back? No, we don't do that. What do? We stand straight every time. If you're a little bit hunched, immediately stand straight. Straight means what? It should be, your body should be straight with the floor. Okay? Now this angle, this line OB is absolutely straight and on the line OA. So this angle OB, we say, is the right way of standing. You are not standing this way. You are not standing this way. You are standing straight. So OB is the right way to stand. So the angle formed here, this way, when OB is straight, OA is here. Okay? It is standing straight, then it is known as a right angle. It is known as the right angle. Now to come to the right angle, this OB was taking small distance. Slowly it was moving. Every time it was moving, it was forming a space between OA and OB. So there are many angles formed from till it reaches this right angle, till it reaches the straight, till it becomes straight. It is forming many angles there. These angles which are between the zero angle and a right angle are known as acute angles. They are known as acute angles. All angles between zero angle and a right angle are known as acute angles. Now, my angle, my line, this OB is not stopping here. Again, it is moving down. It keeps moving on the other direction. It was going this way. So the movement keeps on. When finally the line OB lies in a straight line with OA, with A on one side, B on the other side, straight this way. Okay? So the line is forming a straight angle. This angle where you have this way, A is here, B is here, and O is at this point. So this angle that is formed is known as the straight angle. Straight angle because it is forming a straight line. Since it forms a straight line, the endpoints of both are on the opposite directions. The line is forming, this is forming a straight line. So this is known as a straight line, straight angle. Now when the line from the right angle keeps moving, it is again forming angles here, this way. Continuously it is forming angles. These angles which lie between the right angle and the straight angle are known as obtuse angles. Remember, an acute angle looks like this. This is acute. Whereas an obtuse angle has moved away from the right angle. So an obtuse angle looks like this. If we take the measure of an acute angle and an obtuse angle is wider or more, measurement is more than the acute angle. So these angles between the right angle and the straight angle are known as obtuse angle. Now, this line continues moving, the angle is moving around the point and it keeps moving till it reaches its original position. Now all these angles from the straight angle to the original position is known as a reflex angle. Now these are the reflex angles. It is moving from this point, it moves down, goes down, so B is here, O, A. This angle is known as the reflex angle. Okay? When finally the angle, we had angle, let me just rub it off a bit. Right. We have a straight line here. This is O, A, OB. OB made a straight line here. Finally, it kept moving, and then what happened in the end? Came on top of AO. So B came here. Now again, same way, again both the angles, lines are one on top of the other. But this came back after moving right around, it came back here. So when it comes back to its original position, after taking one full round, then this is known as the complete angle. What is it called? The complete angle. Remember, a complete angle finishes one full movement. A zero angle is this one, where A and B are both on top of each other. No difference at all here. Movement hasn't started. Since the movement hasn't started, we haven't marked it this way. Without that marking, this is a zero angle. But again, if it comes back to the same position, but with a marking here, which tells us that it has moved one full round and come back to its original position, then it is a complete angle. Okay, so now what I will be doing is I will not be talking in terms of complete, where is the complete angle or where is the acute angle, right? We will be just talking in terms of acute, obtuse, straight, reflex or complete angle. Okay. Since it is moving around a point, if it moves around a point, every angle is making some, when it is opening out, the distance keep increasing or it becomes smaller. Now they are known as the angles. When it forms a straight angle, if we measure it, it is exactly 90 degrees. So a right angle is 90 degrees. It is standing straight. If you look at it, you have one 90 degree here and the other 90 degree here. So 90 plus 90, a straight angle will be 180 degrees. Right angle, 90. Then again it moves another 90 degree, forms a straight angle, that is 180. Angles between 0 and 90 are known as acute angles. That is from 1 degree to 89 degrees are acute angles. Angles between 90 and 180, that is it becoming more than 90 degrees. So they are known as obtuse angles. Reflex angles are more than 180. 180 plus 180 is 360. Complete angle is 360 degrees. Reflex angles are more than 180 degree but less than 360 degrees. Okay, right. These are the angles. Is just a quick revision of what you have already done in the previous classes. Now we go on to related angles, okay, or pairs of angles. Now, different types of pairs of angles that we are coming to. Again, I'll give you the terminology and then I will explain it. First pair of angle is known as complementary. What do we mean by pair? Pair means two angles. Now we are taking two angles together and pairing them up and seeing what type of angles they are. They are all the related angles. What are we doing now? Lines and angles. Okay. Now the related angles that we are doing is, one is complementary angles. We will talk about supplementary angles. Then we have adjacent angles. Then we have linear pair. I'll be explaining, these are the terminology, then I'll explain them all together. Then we have vertically opposite angles. Right, whatever I can, we will do it right now. I have sent you some work for yesterday's lesson. Today, whatever I did yesterday, I will be sending you for today's work also. Okay, so make sure you do those also at the same time. All the work will be sent to you in the ERP only. The videos are also in the ERP. Right, now we will come to pairs of angles. What are we doing here? Pairs or related angles. Pairs of angles. Now we are taking, pair means what? Two. We are taking two angles at a time. Okay. So we will start with complementary angles. Now if we have two angles, this is one angle and let's take another angle. Okay. If two angles, let me take this as 50 degrees. This is not 50 degrees. This can be smaller than that. This angle is 40 degrees and this is 50 degrees. They are two angles. Okay. Now, if I add these two angles, the measures, 40 degrees, the measure of this angle, name it A, B, C. This is D, E, F. Now when two angles of different measures are added, if I add 40 degrees and 50 degrees, I've taken a pair of angles and I'm taking the measures together. So the pair of these two, 40 plus 50, will give me what? 40 degrees plus 50 degree will give me 90 degrees. So if two angles, a pair of angles, if the measures are added and it comes to 90 degrees, exactly 90 degrees, then we call such angles, such pairs as complementary angles. Both of these are less than 90. So when two acute angles, what type of angles? Acute angles less than 90 degrees are added, and if their sum is 90 degrees, then we call such angles, these two angles are known as complementary angles. They are known as complementary angles. Now complementary angles must be two angles. Both the angles must be acute angles, because only when acute angles are added you can get 90 degrees. If one is acute, one is obtuse, more than 90, you will not get complementary angles. Okay. So if two acute angles are added and their sum is 90 degree, then they are known as complementary angles. And each angle, that is angle ABC is one angle, angle DEF is the other angle. Each angle each angle is known as the complement of the other. The complement of the other. ABC, angle ABC is a complement of angle DEF. Angle DEF is a complement of angle ABC. Because if I add the two angles, what will I get? I will get 90 degrees. So, if the sum of the two acute angles when added gives you 90 degrees, then it is complementary angle, and each of them are known as the complement of each other. Other examples of two angles when added gives you 90 degrees are for example, if one angle is 60 degree and the other is 30 degrees, then what answer I will get? 90 degrees. If I add the two angles, I'm getting 90 degrees. So 60 degrees and 30 degrees are the complements of each other, right? Now, if of the two, if you are told a pair of angles are complementary, then if the measure of one is given, you can find the measure of the other. So if I say angles PQR and angle RST are complementary angles. What are they? Complementary. The moment the word complementary comes, what do we know about complementary angles? That they are two acute angles whose sum will be 90 degrees. So, complementary means they are acute angles and their sum is equal to 90 degrees. That means if I add the two angles, you will get 90 degrees. Supposing we say that the measure of PQR is 37 degrees, then what will be the measure of RST? What will be the measure of RST? Now, what do we know? What type of angles are they? They are complementary. So if I add PQR and angle RST, I will be getting 90 degrees because they are complementary. So to get the value of RST, subtract the given value from 90, you will get the measure of RST. So we can say angle RST will be equal to 90 degrees minus 37 degrees, which is equal to 10 minus 7 is 3, 8 minus 3 is 5. Right. So, what is the value of RST? Measure of RST? 53 degrees. So, if they are complementary angles, if the value of one, the measure of one is given, to find the other angle, you will subtract it from 90 degrees. Okay, right. Now very quickly on to the other type. Supplementary angles. Now supplementary angles are also a pair of angles, two angles. But what type of angles? Two angles are there. Pair means two. Okay. But one is acute. One is acute and the other is obtuse. If one angle is acute and the other angle is obtuse, then they are known as supplementary angles if when you add them, the total comes to 180 degrees. When you add them, if the sum comes to 180 degree, then they are supplementary angles. And each of them is known as supplement of each other. They are known as the supplement of each other. So what do we have out here? Supplementary angles, say 75 degrees plus 105 degree will give me what? 180 degree. So 75 degree is the supplement of 105. 105 is the supplement of 75. If one supplement is known, then you can find the other supplement. Remember, supplementary angles, one must be acute angle and one must be obtuse. But we can have two supplementary angles of equal measurement. If you have equal measurement, that means supplementary angles are forming 180 degree. If we can have 90 degree here and 90 degree. 90 degrees plus 90 degrees is 180 degrees. So two 90 degree angles are supplement to each other. So two right angles can form supplementary angles. But otherwise it will be either one acute and one obtuse will give you, if it gives you 180 degrees, then it is supplementary angle. Remember, two acute angles cannot form supplementary angles because sum of two acute angles will not be 180 degree. Two obtuse angles are not supplementary because both are more than 90 degrees. Obtuse angles are more than 90. So if I have one angle 91 degrees and the other angle 92 degrees, what do I get? 183 degrees, more than 180. So two obtuse angles will also not form supplementary angles. It has to be one acute and one obtuse, or both will be right angle. Then only you will get supplementary angles. Each of them is known as the supplement of the other angle. 75 supplement. But remember, when you add the two, it must be equal to 180. If the supplement of one is given, supposing supplement of one angle is 83 degrees, then what will be the other angle? Now we have talked about supplementary. Supplementary means the sum must be 180. So the other angle will be 180 minus the given measurement will give you the other supplementary angle. Right? So supplementary angles are two angles, one acute and one obtuse, or both right angles which add up to 180 degrees are known as supplementary angles. Right. Next type, and we'll do till here today. Next type of angles. Next type of angles are known as adjacent angles. Now, adjacent means next to each other. Okay? For example, if I have a row out here, I have three persons sitting here, A, B and C. A is sitting next to B. So A and B are adjacent. Okay? B is sitting next to C. So B and C are adjacent. But A is not sitting next to C. A is not sitting next to C. So A and C are not adjacent. A and B are adjacent because they are next to each other. B and C are adjacent because they are next to each other. So if they are next to each other, then they are adjacent. They are known as adjacent to each other. So adjacent angles will also be next to each other. So what will be adjacent angles? We are going to do that tomorrow. Okay? So goodbye and have a nice time. Tomorrow I'm going to complete with the adjacent angles. Bye-bye.